The line between blatant audience pandering and thoughtful homage is thin and obscure, and one that most writers and filmmakers try not to cross. Some stay firmly on one side, honoring what came before in intelligent ways while telling their own unique story. Some fall on the other side, clearly shoehorning in elements that don't naturally fit in the new story to simply appeal to a nostalgic audience. Marvel's latest film, Deadpool and Wolverine, manages to find that vague, invisible line and digs a trench through it with the bones of its greatest asset. For better or for worse, it gives audiences exactly what they want from a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Nothing more and nothing less, and so affects the film as a whole in a unique way. The story is very simple and doesn't try to change anything for the state of Marvel films, but is self-contained and concerned only with entertaining. Following the events of the previous two Deadpool films, Wade Wilson is in a rut, unable to join the Avengers and working as the world's most inappropriate car salesman, when the TVA capture him and tell him his world is dying due to the loss of its anchor character, Wolverine. After trying to bring in a replacement, the two are sent to the Void to be discarded, and they have to work together to get back to their universe and save it from destruction. Along the way, they come up against a multitude of villains led by Cassandra Nova, an army of Deadpools, and team up with some familiar faces from the previous Marvel films. That's essentially it. Everything else is loosely connected by a series of jokes, fight scenes, and cameos. The film is chock full of conveniences and tropes, but almost purposefully so, given that the plot is essentially one big joke about the state of superhero films after their anchor characters have moved on. For example, after first confronting the film's villains, Deadpool and Wolverine travel across a void by happening to run into another version of Deadpool, Nicepool, who happens to have a working car and lets him borrow it. The story almost feels like something Deadpool himself would have written. It's unpretentious and isn't out to impress anyone with its sophistication or poignance, but is just meant to be fun. It doesn't care about long-term ramifications or how it impacts other Marvel films, but just wants nothing more than to give fans what they want, a good time. From its hilarious opening scene, Deadpool makes it clear that this is not a film to be taken seriously, as he digs up the grave of Wolverine from the film Logan and uses the bones to brutally dispatch a TVA, something everyone's wanted to see since Loki, all while dancing to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. It doesn't try to delicately tiptoe its way around other films to only half-heartedly respect their story arcs while changing the lore, but rather it does what it wants for the sake of entertainment. It's an interesting film to review as it can be viewed in one of two ways. On the one hand, viewing it as an individual film, it's generic and predictable with no real stakes. There's minimal character growth and a very niche style of comedy based around cameos and in-jokes surrounding the industry. On the other hand, viewing this as a Deadpool film and as a Marvel film, as a self-aware comedy with the singular goal of entertainment, it's exactly what you want. The action is great, the jokes are funny, and the cameos absolutely make the film. Simply put, it's a lot of fun. And if you're looking for a hilarious, entertaining film to end the summer season on, look no further than Deadpool and Wolverine.
I am soaking wet right now.